Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on
anything. That's a regret I have. I really shouldn't have said nothing, cause we not in the same league.
And because you finally did it, because you had no other choice, and now that he gone, you gonna act like he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it.
That's kind of like hate and jealousy. And hate and jealousy is a form of...
It started with a stolen joke at the Comedy Store. 2 years later, that joke was his closer. But for Katt Williams, that betrayal was just the beginning. The man is a legend. You probably know Steve Harvey as the comedy king who went from the Kings of Comedy tour to daytime TV host, author, and motivational speaker.
Said anything? That's a regret I have. I really shouldn't have said nothing, cause we not in the same league.
But according to Katt Williams, there's a whole side to Steve Harvey the public hasn't seen, and it's reportedly much worse than we think.
Supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour.
First of all, I ain't really good at social media, so I didn't even know that was out there.
In this explosive new video, Katt doesn't hold back. He's not just throwing shade, he's dropping bombs, claiming Steve Harvey is more than just a comedy legend. He's a fraud who's been playing the fame game all wrong. So what exactly did Katt Williams say? Why is he going after Steve Harvey now? And is there any truth to these shocking claims? We're breaking it all down. Before we dive in, if you love deep dive stories about Hollywood and celebrity drama, go ahead and subscribe to The Fame Game right now for more true tales like this. Katt Williams has never been one to bite his tongue. From his stand-up specials to his fiery interviews, Katt has always spoken his mind. He's never afraid to challenge the status quo, and this time, he's set his sights squarely on Steve Harvey.
The reason you were supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. And because you finally did it, because you had no other choice, and now that he gone, you gonna act like he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it.
For years, people have known about Katt and Steve's rocky relationship. They've had their issues. The most famous incident was when Katt called out Steve for allegedly stealing jokes from other comedians, including Mark Curry. Katt claimed Harvey had made a career off of other people's work, and Katt wasn't quiet about it.
Like really kiss most of the corners of my... When a person sits on the show and don't hesitate or say or and speaks eloquently, that don't mean it's not in the same league, though. We shooting at two different baskets. I shouldn't even have said nothing.
Katt goes even further in this new video. He calls Steve Harvey worse than people realize. He claims that the man behind the family-friendly TV personality isn't what he appears to be. He is a hypocrite. No one can deny it. Steve Harvey is a powerhouse in comedy, television, and media. He's got the accolades, the books, and the talk shows. But according to Katt, that success came at a price, and it wasn't just hard work. Katt alleges that Steve's success is built on playing the system and using people. He claims Steve has built his career by aligning himself with people who benefit him, even if it means stepping on others. That's a bold claim, especially coming from someone who positions himself as the anti-Hollywood guy. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the comedy world's biggest feud, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out.
So I took cash that night, because I'm going to go across the border to the casinos in Canada, and I'm going to gamble. We in the limo, me and Said, we going across the thing, Border Patrol.
Katt doesn't stop there. He calls out the way Steve Harvey portrays himself as this positive, motivational figure, preaching success and hard work while secretly playing dirty behind the scenes. Katt states Harvey's good guy image is just a facade. It hides the real Steve Harvey, who is more concerned with fame and control than with honesty and integrity. This isn't the first time Katt Williams has accused Steve Harvey of foul play. We've all heard the stories about the joke stealing and the tension between the two, but Katt's words in this latest video take it to a whole new level. He's not just calling Steve out for being a bad comedian, he's calling him out for being a bad person.
Because a person sits on the show and don't hesitate or say or and speaks eloquently, that don't mean it's true.
What Katt says next is even more personal. He claims that Steve Harvey has always had a pattern of using people for his benefit and then discarding them once they're no longer useful. That's a serious accusation. It paints Steve as someone not just about climbing the ladder, but making sure no one else gets close enough to take his spot. According to Katt, Harvey's rise through Hollywood wasn't organic. It was all about who he knew and what he was willing to do to get ahead. For Katt, this is the heart of Steve's success. Manipulation, not talent. Katt even points out that some of Steve's former colleagues have been hurt in the process. Katt turns the heat up, claiming Steve has a side he's been hiding. The public image as a family man and motivational speaker is just a mask. It covers a ruthless figure ready to do whatever it takes to stay on top. Steve has allegedly become so obsessed with control that he's willing to step on anyone, burning bridges with friends and colleagues. Is Steve Harvey really as bad as Katt says he is? For Katt Williams, the truth is more important than keeping Hollywood's image intact. He's spotlighting the ugly side of success, the manipulation, the backstabbing, and the selfishness. Katt isn't the only one speaking out either. Other comedians and fans have commented on Harvey's questionable practices, the way he's made enemies and burned bridges. Steve Harvey hasn't publicly responded to Katt's latest claims yet, but if history has shown anything, it's that Steve knows how to weather storms like this. He always seems to come out on top. Whether he'll address Katt's accusations head-on or let them slide remains to be seen. One thing's for sure, Katt Williams has once again shaken up Hollywood. The drama between him and Steve Harvey seems to be reaching a boiling point. Who's telling the truth? Who's playing the fame game? And who's going to come out on top? Katt's accusations are significant because they tap into a core belief. Comedy isn't just about jokes anymore. It's about power, control, and reputation.
Performing at the Arco Arena in Buffalo. Sold out shows. So I took cash that night because I'm going to go across the border to the casinos in Canada and I'm going to gamble. We in the limo, me and Said, we going across the thing. Border Patrol say, "Who are you guys?"
Katt Williams is telling the public that Steve Harvey has mastered the art of building an empire on manipulation. He claims Steve uses his public persona as a shield while behind closed doors, he's cutting people out who don't fit his narrative. Comedians like Monique, Dave Chappelle, and Kevin Hart have all mentioned how Hollywood uses and spits out comedians. Katt's critique is unique because he ties Steve Harvey's behavior to a larger issue. People in power using influence to squash competition and silence voices. Katt says Steve Harvey isn't just playing the game, he's rigging it. When Katt Williams speaks, people listen. He has a track record for calling things out, no matter the consequences. And when he comes for someone like Steve Harvey, you can't ignore it. Katt isn't talking about petty drama, he's talking about the power to control your own narrative. The irony is thick. Steve Harvey has built an entire brand around being a self-made, inspirational figure, preaching success and integrity. But to Katt, it's all a scam. Katt's calling out Steve Harvey for being the exact opposite of what he preaches. He's exposing a truth that's been buried in plain sight for years. Steve Harvey may be a comedic legend, but behind the curtain, Katt says he's a man more concerned with keeping his power than keeping it real. Katt's not just calling out Steve Harvey, he's calling out the whole system. If you feel Katt Williams is right to speak up, hit that like button one more time. This has been The Fame Game, where we uncover the truth behind the headlines. Do you think Steve Harvey is really a fraud, or is Katt Williams just bitter? Drop a comment below and let us know your take. One thing's for sure, when Katt Williams speaks, he's got everyone listening. See you on the next one.